Let's see if we're live. Theoretically, should be. That should be the telltale beep. Good morning, everyone. So we can chat before the live starts. So what's your favorite mid-century French irrigation technique of the Air Mountains region? I can't go into that, Ray. It's too deep a conversation. Too deep. I think my opinion is kind of personal. Well, good morning, Ray. It's like you got some sleep. Or maybe we're up late last night thinking. You gotta stop doing that. Let's guess. Oh, honey coffee. Ray was overthinking that one. Anyway, happy Monday, everybody. Happy that I'll be off today. I have today off. I've got Friday off. I think I have next Monday off. I was supposed to have had this past Friday off, but that didn't happen because we just down a little too much in staffing. So I'll be making that up in a little bit. But for the moment, I'm off today. Everybody's being quiet except for Ray asking the tough questions. Hey, Ken, good morning. How are you? How you feeling, brother? Made some lemon cream cheese squares last night. Used puff pastry for the dough. Came out fantastic. And we got Ken doing dandy. Sounds yummy. It sounds yummy. Right, it seems like, why do you want to go back to work? You can just stay home and just cook. Space dandy? Okay, I hope you had an enjoyable weekend. I do. It's only dawned on me what I'm doing. I'm literally scraping the eyeball of this thing. It's cleaning up the mono eye, but it's like I'm literally running a blade across its eyeball. Which, having had when I was a kid, somehow having gotten metal shards in my eye and having them extracted, this kind of is kind of freaking me out here for a second. If I can do enough side work, I don't have to get a job. Fingers crossed. You know what? Absolutely. Fingers crossed for you. Shion and the loose style. Yeah, kind of. That's more cross, though. That's like the blade kind of coming across. This is more just kind of scraping off. Yeah, but similar type of thing. I have to watch that again. It's been a while. It's not a long film, but it's a crazy film. Dali and Buñuel at their finest. Well, I shouldn't say that. I love Buñuel. Haven't seen many of his films, but the ones that I've seen, I've enjoyed quite a bit. Equally icky. Yep. Do you watch Hostile this weekend? Did you watch Hostile this weekend? What's Hostile? Hey, Seb. Good morning. How are you, my friend? What is Hostile? There you go. I'm literally doing surgery around its eye, though. Doing fine. You? I am not so bad. So just saying a few moments ago, I am off from work today, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let's see what we got shape-wise here. I may fill that in with a little bit of just a smattering of super glue. I don't think I want it. So right underneath the eyeball, there is a little bit of a, I'm going to call it a an area that just is, it almost looks like it's gotten notched because it's kind of cutting in a little bit into the mono eye. I think I'm going to try to fix that. Hey, Edwin, good evening. It's like hostile but auto-corrected. Oh, it's like that, but not. Okay, so supplementary rest day. So, oh, yeah. 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 Exactly. And it's nice. Like, I'm not saying I deserve it or need it, but it's just nice to be able to have. You know, it gives me the opportunity to avoid my boss today, to the owner of the company, which is always good. My fuse for him is getting shorter by the moment. Excuse me. Excuse me one moment here. Pardon me. What are you working on today? I am working on the old Zaku today. Just to do a little bit of assembly. All this weird weather this spring really screwed up my lilacs. Barely any blooms this year. Wild, because we actually had ours, which struggled for the longest time. We got a few planted in the front that struggled, and they've been popping. Very happy about that. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything extensive on it because the I'm kind of liking that it looks a little bulbous and old, but I do like this kit a lot. I like these old kits. I'm doing right now, just doing cleanup on it. I've seen a lot this year now that you mention it. Really? It'll be late this year. Are we talking about lilacs or lilies? Yeah, it's nice to work on. Also, I much enjoy working on this than I do the repair work on this crappy plane. I think we're going to square this side. So I didn't get a chance to come down to the bench yesterday, but I will be coming down today. Going to do some airbrushing. Going to get Misa Hayase kind of hopefully get the painting done on her, getting that cleanup done. Hey, Richie, good morning. How are you? Those haven't started blooming yet. They have the daffodils and the tulips just started. Been reading, watching historical videos on Springfield and the mansions in Maple Street. Well, that's nice. Whoa, I got launched. Where are you watching those, Ken? Look at you becoming a local historian. This is like a local PBS kind of thing. YouTube vids. YouTubes. What it was like before it came its present form. He wants to be mad at different rich people. Yeah, I doubt that. Ken's one of those oligarchs. I'm kidding, Ken. I'm kidding. There we go. I'm good looking to make bad decisions on the AK website. I love making bad decisions. By the way, Richie, if you're buying stuff directly from AK, two things. One, you can use a discount code from Martin Kovac, Night Shift. You'd have to check out his YouTube channel, but he's got a code there. If you decide to buy the stuff from Michigan Toy Soldier, they offer like a 15 to 20% discount. And there's no bad decision on the AK site. AK is good. Found out my house was maybe a cattle farm before it was a neighborhood. Really? That would kind of make sense, wouldn't it? to go on the inside to clean up the inside of that in just a little bit, but right now, so just getting on the outside. Moo. I know I'm looking at their spray cans. Yeah. Everything they have. I mean, AK is great because of the variety of stuff that they have. You know, their all of their weathering products, everything. You know, they're I don't know that Ammo has, but AK has, you know, their the new acrylic pens. They're really like kind of doing a great job. Give me a second, guys. There we go. House in Springfield and Longmeadow were underground railroad stops. That doesn't surprise. That does not surprise, but that is so cool. Their pencils kick ass. Yeah, exactly. I'm, in fact, I've that might be something to do on this plane. Maybe use the pencils for some of the weathering stuff. Try not to use oils on it this time. I should try that. It would be nice to actually, you know what, that might not be a bad idea. Try like their pencils for other types of, not just soot effects, but other types of effects too. Stains, color shifting, no, maybe not color modulation. No, maybe color modulation. All right. Let's get the front of the amount of cleanup that's going on here is supreme. But at least things kind of sort of line up. You know, granted that. Sorry, guys. A little focused in there. A little focused. In fact, I'm going to just call it. It's like, this is my happy place. I like this kind of construction. Whereas with the plane, it's just, it's just there's too much craziness going on there to really be enjoyable. Whereas this is kind of fun. I don't mind cleaning out like seam lines and, you know, fixing some details that, you know, given the age of the model, you know, you understand where there were some limitations to it. No problem with it. Like fixing, like repairing stuff, not a problem. I've been using them and they're weathering. Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. Their line of acrylic paints too, Richie, are really good. Like the paints themselves, the AK 3rd Gen paints. And of course, I've talked about, I love their real color lacquers. They're fantastic. The only thing I don't know, and because obviously they use enamel in some of their weathering products, I don't know that they actually make an enamel paint. Yo, what's going on, Mason? Good morning. They have an air comet in Ohio. Yay! Yay! That's all I can say. Yay! We're not talking about air comets today. Today we are avoiding them like the plague. All right, I got to get inside there, get that area cleaned up. Let's see what we got. Grab a few of these things. I think this one too. Yep. Yo. I love the yo. Government ordered 80 bill, only produced 50 before the project was canceled, so you have so you two have something in common. Oh yeah, absolutely. I can't remember why they killed the project. There was a reason for it. I could look at the manual, but that means then I have to look at the manual for the plane. I don't want to do that right now. Anyway, happy Monday to everybody. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. A good rest of your Sundays, excuse me. A nice, for the most part, low-key Sunday. Exhausted for the most part yesterday. Did a quite a bit of rest. My wife had it out relatively early in the day. So we hung out in the morning for a while, got her ready. So my daughter had one of her best friends over last night, sort of an impromptu get together, and they are just fabulous. Just one of the nicest people out there. So spent a little bit of time with them. A little bit of cleanup work. Got my nice weekend yesterday. Went to Pet Expo to meet with a friend, then hunting on some gunpla on mall nearby. Nice. Any success there? It was so far ahead. They put the funding into Lockheed. Yep, that would make sense. I've been doing some research, but I did find plans for a flying balsa version. Cool. Did you learn about the King Philip's War between settlers and Native Americans? Did I learn about it? So I learned a little bit about, not probably as deeply as you. I learned a little bit about it during the while reading the first half of the People's History of the United States. But it didn't go in too deeply. But Ken, I know you did. So that must have been a lovely thing. Lovely. And when we meet up, you can give me a full thesis on it. I would love it. Got to sit and work on a model lesson. It's been a while. So it's great weathering done on the Star Wars Razor Crest. Nice. It's really interesting. A lot of that history is very interesting. Not buying a thing, price was unreasonable. Really? Is that just generally how that works, or is there something that's spiking that pricing? I'm wondering, are you also feeling repercussions of what's going on in the economy, or otherwise, Edwin? Curious. So I did get quite a bit of cleanup done. I'm trying to get my area back here organized a little bit. I've got I got a massive computer case that I use as a server case. I'm actually looking to eliminate that and pare it down to something much, much, much smaller. Also learned Wamsutta bed sheets are named after his brother. Wamsutta is named after King Philip, his brother. Yeah, interesting. I did not know that. Look at that. Boy, you have been going on an educational tour. Well, department store is not the distributor, but then I already got SD full armor gun. Let me see. I just got nice. So David will be a little happy that it's starting to look like some of the bootleg models are popping back up on AliExpress. However, having said that, a lot of the more traditional models are still excessively priced if they're available at all. Yeah, I feel informed. It's a good place to be. I was my family's been a little bit concerned because of this, a lot of the new stuff that I've been watching. Like, why do you spend so much time watching this stuff? And I have to tell you, I feel in some ways, yes, it's creating the echo chamber, but at the same time, it's been helpful because I've actually learned quite a bit, particularly following a lot of legal channels. It's nice to be informed, like what Ken was just saying. So I feel like I'm learning a lot more about, world governments, you know, a lot more about, the actual language in the Constitution, that kind of stuff. And that to me is very important. We can all talk about how we feel about things, but let's actually take a look at facts. And I think that's kind of important. So again, being informed is good. Just don't let it eat you up. Yeah, and the funny part about it is, in some ways, it doesn't. Yeah, but your point is 100% valid. As long as it doesn't eat you. By the way, I'm just removing all of the flanging down here. And the reason being that now I can just drop the head in, find a place that I want, and just glue it into place. I don't need to, I don't need this thing to be, ultra posable when I'm done with it. You find a place, glue it in, done. I think what's interesting is that, at least from my perspective, and I've been doing a lot more reading of important, a lot more nonfiction. Let's just start with that. A lot more nonfiction. And what I appreciate about it is that in some ways, it's more scary than the real world, right? Hey, Dwayne, good morning. So it's a lot less scary. It's a lot scarier, excuse me, than a lot of fiction. But it's also just like I said, it's I don't know. I'd like to think I'm a fairly educated guy. Oh yeah, I'm working on the old Zaku. Probably one of the oldest kits I have in my collection. I've got a couple of ideas of what I want to do with two of these. So at this point, I will likely, because it's going to revolve around 4 total models. I likely won't get it done anytime soon, but at least kind of start the construction on this. I've had this kit sitting behind me for a while, and I keep looking at it. It's like, I really want to start that, even if it doesn't get done, just to start it. It's good morning, Mason. Good morning. So, I guess it's something that I've always prided myself on, And look, I don't take any politics aside. I hear something, and my first thought is, okay, what are the facts on this thing? I like to still think that I'm fact based, and I like learning stuff. I've always loved learning. Always loved learning. There we go. Even things like scale modeling, it's like, knowing one technique is great. It's funny when you watch certain model makers, and it's basically their work is great, but it's always very repetitious. It's like, okay, you're doing the same thing. You've got the same methodology. Your finished work is great, but it's like, you think maybe you want to try something different? You know, don't you get kind of bored if you get stuck in that routine? You done got an education. Exactly. Thanks, good morning, Mason. Some fancy book learning. Exactly. We in here to press the flesh. We mass communicating. Knowing is half the battle. Exactly. I need coffee. Yeah, in fact, thank you for doing. I'm gonna take another hit while we're taking a little pause here. Oh Jesus. We've got about 5 minutes before I gotta roll. Reading is fundamental. Exactly. And it's like I said, I enjoy, and I'm going to say this kind of weird. I actually enjoy seeing what's going on in the political arena now, and part of it because it's and here's where I personalize it quite a bit. Maybe this will be a conversation for another day, but because it's a massive topic, I am trying to find what my place in the world is. Right? When all of this stuff is happening, why is it that I believe the stuff that I believe? Why is it that I have these views of how things should be? And it's kind of like and I've mentioned it before. It's like the theory of unification in physics. You're trying to get all of those different theories kind of unified into one massive theory. And I'm sort of in that same position. It's like, if I believe something, why is it that I do a certain thing, and how is it impacting this other thing? Kind of, like I said, probably a much, much more massive conversation. Knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone. KRS1, 100%. I kind of my politics, my religion, my hobbies in many way, the stuff I like to watch and TV, the stuff I like to read. Now, don't get me wrong, I also don't pigeonhole myself. I do try to read other stuff as well. But all that stuff, or my views on, labor, work stuff, all that stuff. How is it all, like, how did I get here? Literally, how did I get here? Anyway, it's kind of what I like to do. You're a ghost driving a meat suit made out of stardust, just finding some meaning in the chaos is nice, though. I think it's very important. Fucking quantum mechanics. Exactly. Quantum mechanics of the soul. I think it's important. It's a very, I guess in many ways, it's an existential thing. Look, I'm not looking to say, am I going to have this long lasting legacy after I'm gone? I don't believe that, whatever. I don't care. But it's like, it's good to know. It's like, so where do you fit in right now? Then the days go by, letting the water. Yes, exactly. He also said the girlies are free because the cracks cost money. So I'll take that with a grain of salt. Peter, these pretzels are making me thirsty. Nice. All right. So we've gotten a good bit, probably 90% done on the head here. I've kind of eliminated that bottom section there. Get rid of the nebbies, and then we're going to call it a session. But your backlog will live forever. Oh, God, yeah. At what point will we continue to manufacture more and more models, and then all of the old stuff is going to go somewhere? I know. As I said on Friday, we got another guy who donated 4 bags of models to us. It's like, What the fuck are we going to do with all this shit? What are we going to do with it all? All right, my friends. I'm going to leave it here because there's a possibility I might come down here and work on this thing if I don't want to work on the plane. The plane's really starting to get to me a little bit. We'll see. Oh man, the drinking cup. Yep. It's a nice thing, isn't it? That's where your RC came from. Exactly. Guys, stay safe and stay sane. Nick, have a good one, brother. Guys, go out there and do good. Brighten the world as much as you possibly can. Had a fun morning of conversing and just cleaning up this little model, which I really do enjoy. I got to tell you, the older the model, the more I enjoy it. The older the Gundam model, the more I enjoy it. Have a great one, people. You too, Mason. So anyway, go out there, brighten the world as much as you possibly can. It's getting crazier, and I mean crazier by the day. I know I say that every day, but every day it just seems like we're incrementally getting stupider and crazier and more, I don't know, obscene. Go out there and brighten somebody's day. Make it a better day for somebody, okay? Let's do good by people, not bad. All right? Later, gents. Later, Dwayne. So do that. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. All right. Love you all and peace.